We are alive. Thank you for being here, Helaine.
My pleasure.
So Helaine been in two documentaries, and I will put them down. And she also wrote jokes for John River. She's also so amazing. I work with her in Joke Zoom, and she's always helpful. So thank you so much again.
Thank you for having me. What time is it where you live?
It's 7:04 p.m.
Oh,
And you are whereabout you are?
I'm in New York. How is the day gonna roll out for me? How's the day going? You know what I mean? Like I'm making a joke.
Yes.
Like you know how my day is gonna turn out because you already did it.
Yeah, I was in 2022 before you.
That's right. We talked about that, didn't we?
Yeah. So did you grow up in New York?
Yeah, I grew up in New York. I went to California in do you remember during the time when everybody was moving to California wearing a flower in their hair? You heard about that? It was like a movement. Tune in, turn on, drop out, the Beach Boys, the surfing, moving to San Francisco, the picketing, hippies, Haight Ashbury. Anyway, there was a whole movement in America. And I was at a point in my life where I made a break. I made a move. So that's where I started the comedy in my neighborhood. You want to hear this whole story?
Yes, go for it.
So I'm walking down the street in San Francisco, and this barker in front of a comedy club is outside. He's wearing a polyester leisure suit. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's funny. And he's going, comedy, comedy, comedy. Come in the comedy club. So I was never thinking of doing comedy. And he took me into the club, and it's a famous club because Robin Williams Robin Williams was already there, but then he got famous and then he bought it, I think, at the end. But anyway, so I walk in and it's empty. And he said, stand on the stage and look out and see how you feel. And then he sold me a class on improv. He sold me a class on joke writing. And I started doing open mic. And in return, I typed his manual for him. I could type fast, so I typed his manual. And then he showed me how to send jokes to famous people. So he said, he wrote jokes for comics, Rodney Dangerfield, all the big comics. He would go to the library, look in a big book. You know what a book is, right? They don't even use books today. It's a joke. It was a big reference book with all the managers of they didn't have internet where you just go look for things. And you look up any comic you want, their manager's address. So you send a query letter. That means you say, what kind of jokes does Joan Rivers want these days? And they wrote back to me. They wrote, this is what she's looking for right now. She's on Johnny Carson. You watch late night, don't you, Muad? You get late night. So, they do 5 or 10 minutes of warm up of current material, like Tim's class. Tim Thompson has that Wednesday, 7 p.m. So that's the same thing. So they told me what the topics were that she was needing at that time. Well, it was so exciting to tell me what subjects she wanted jokes for. And I just sat at my lunch hour in my job at the time. I was like a typist. And I would sit there and just from my head, like think of things to say. And some of them were dirty for me, but I could do it. I don't talk that way, but she puts down this very famous actress called Elizabeth Taylor. She used to torture her in jokes, making fun of her. Like she said, Liz Taylor stood by the microwave yelling, hurry, things like that. Like she made hysterical jokes. That wasn't one of my jokes. Well, Muad, I say your name wrong, Muad.
No, you are good. You are good.
They made you sign a 6-page contract that you will never utter those jokes again. But the ones on TV, yeah, the ones that I wrote for TV, she said them so I could say them now. And in this movie I'm in, this special, which anyone can watch, they showed me telling the joke, and then Joan Rivers tells the joke, and then I tell, because it's in parts. So my friend Robert and I used to listen to Joan Rivers' record album that came out, and we'd play it and play it. And after a while, I started to think like from her, you know, like you channel somebody, you think, what would they say? What would they say? And that's why I started thinking like her. And then he said, Helaine, I taped the show every night. You know, she's doing the monologue. She was replacing Johnny Carson. He was the person who had the late night show. I didn't tell you that part, Moat. Johnny Carson had the biggest, most famous of all time late night show. So my friend Robert taped the show, the monologue every night that Joan Rivers did, and he captured 2 of my jokes. I'm so lucky. And I kept them. I had them on VHS, and then I turned them into CD. So when I was on this special, I was telling the lady, just like I'm telling you, and it ended up being on the special. But my proudest moment, I have hanging up a letter framed. She had pink envelopes, and in those days, you didn't have envelopes like you have today, every color. And I get a pink envelope in the mail with Joan Rivers' address of her office. It was the most exciting moment to get that envelope.
Wow. So now your documentary, where can people find that? Because I want
The
to.
documentary. Well, do you want me to just say it? It's on Peacock. They don't have it internationally. I think Peacock is a station. It's a subsidiary of NBC, which is the biggest station in America, but it's a subsidiary. It's called Peacock, and it's peacock.com, but I think it's not in the world yet. But anyway, it's called Still Standing. For those who are in America, it's called not Still Standing. I made a mistake. It's called Good Timing, and it's free. There are different Peacocks, but it's the free one. So it's peacock.com, Good Timing. I'm in another documentary. Want me to tell you about that one too? Am I boring?
Yes. No, you are very, I'm very excited to hear.
Tell me if I'm boring, I'll shut up.
I will.
So our friend George, and when I say our friend, Ziggy, Bruce, Tom, because I brought them all to Rob's. I brought those people to Rob. I didn't bring Bruce. Bruce was already at Rob before me. He brought me, but I brought Ziggy and Tom. We all know this comic named George. George is 87 years old, and anyway, he's in a documentary that followed him around the comedy shows he was doing, because he started at 80 and he had a dream to be a comic. So by 87, which he is now, his dream came true. He wins contests. He hangs out with the young guys. He even has jokes. He has jokes about hanging out with the young people. Everyone loves him. He's so funny. And he was my coach. He talks to Bruce and I in the morning. We have like a 3-way. We're so lucky. He wakes up and then we do a 3-way call, and it's very funny. Anyway, back to this. So this lady saw George and she was intrigued. So she followed him around with another comic who is 89 years old. She has flaming red hair. She wears cowboy boots. She has tattoos. She dresses outrageously for 89 years old, and she's dirty and bawdy, B-A-W-D-Y. I think that's a good word. And her name is Natalie. So they made the documentary about their lives, sad things and happy things. Sad things about their life because they're getting older, but also showing them doing stand-up. Why am I in that video? Because I'm George's friend. So when he got off stage, he said, and this is in the movie.
Yeah.
He said to me, did you notice I had to hold on to the mic? Because I watch him like a hawk and I help him off stage, but I also tape him. I listen to his set. So he said, did you notice I had to hold on to the mic stand? I said, yes, I did. And he said, I don't know if I'm going to get home okay. I don't feel so well. And I said, George. Yeah. So I said, George, do you want to call me when you get home? And he went, no. Everybody in the theater at the festival, it was in a festival, everyone laughed because I was being like a mother. Call me when you get home. But he wasn't well. Turns out he had an operation later. That's not what I wanted to talk about, but that's why I'm in 2 documentaries. They filmed, us at the comedy club,
Mhm.
but they were filming George.
Yeah. And just bring the water.
So I'm done talking about that. I don't know what question you asked me in the first place.
I just wanted to know how old were you when you went to the first comedy?
Oh, okay, we could do the math. Well, it's funny, you know what your first question was, and now we're in it 14 minutes. You asked me a question about where I live, and I ended up with all this. So I did the comedy in San Francisco when I was about 28, and now I can tell you the year and you can subtract. I'm over 70. I'm a few years over 70. But that's it. I stopped doing it for a while because I went back to New York to be a school teacher to finish my career. And then I got back into the comedy, and I got into it during the COVID, and we do it every day, as you know. Do you work, Muad? Do you have to work?
I have work, but I do it online, so I can. I also wanted look, you people that grow up in the U.S., like you grew up in New York, and you also went to California. You had access to the same information and technology that I had access to when I was young. So my father didn't even have the access to what you had. He lived like older than you, and that's the difference when you grow up in third world or fourth world country.
I use your joke. I tell people about you, and I use one of your jokes to talk about you. Could I say could I tell you my version of your joke?
Yeah, tell
I
me.
don't tell the joke like it's mine. I tell people
Yeah,
about you.
go for
I
it.
tell everyone about you. And I said, we have this guy. He's so wonderful. What are you, 19 years old?
24.
I said, we have a young man in our class, and he's amazing. He's from Cyprus, and he just marvels at the things we talk about compared to what he talks about. For example, he says the men in our class wish they were hung. If in Cyprus, you don't wish for that. Not a good idea. So I just changed the joke a little, but it's not my joke. I tell them you say that because I love that joke, and it captures who you are and what you deal with. And you hear our first world problems, just what we have, first world problems. My friend gave me 5 giant bags, garbage bags, Muad, of clothing. How many pairs of jeans could one person need? I mean, I can't, it's hard to buy so many clothes, and it's just hard for me to do it. I'd rather give my money to other people, which I've been doing lately a little bit. But you get my point. Americans have so much. Some people, not everyone. Some people don't have enough.
Yeah, and I also like you told me that you are over 70, but it's just surprising the way you live. When I talk to you, I feel like it's amazing to see you like this. And I also think in the US, there is more chances for people to age better.
Bitter.
Yeah.
Bitter, bitter.
Yeah. So do you like workout? Do you eat healthy? What?
I go to I don't eat healthy. I'm very bad. You know who eats healthy? Bruce. God bless him. Every day has the same thing. Because I talk to him every morning from this treadmill. He's so healthy, and he eats the same thing every day.
What
But
he eat
what does he eat?
every day?
Bruce?
Yeah.
Okay. Every day he drinks he calls it a cyclonic tonic. It has not wheat germ. What's that stuff we use? I always forget the name. It's this grain that helps you. I forget the name all the time, but flaxseed oil, flaxseed. He puts the flaxseed in the blender with frozen papaya, I think, frozen chunks of papaya, and it has water and almond. I don't want to say almond butter. I don't know, something else, but he drinks it every day, and he eats salad every day, and then dinner he eats something different. But Bruce the other day we went out to eat with a few people from Rob's, and he had a piece of bread in oil. I took a picture of it because it's so weird. I eat bread every day. I eat rice every day. He's eating healthy every day. He's going to kill me if he sees this. But I took a picture. When somebody never has anything bad, I take a picture of them eating it. You get it?
Yeah, yeah.
You
And
asked me about working out. Can
yeah,
I
now
answer that?
no, you didn't.
Yeah, I know I didn't. So I have a personal trainer, and she is tiny. She's 5 feet tall and 98 pounds, but she's 60 years old, but she doesn't look it. She's online. You can see her on YouTube. She's a boxer. I'm not a boxer. She's a boxer. She goes to the gym with these tough New Yorkers, and she boxes, and she's very fit and eats very well. I have a joke. I'll tell you the joke about her. She'd kill me if she ever heard it. I'm not making fun of her. It's a joke. Okay. She has a grandchild. So I gave her Heather Lehrman wrote a book. So I gave her the book. And so the joke is, she said, I'll send it home to where the baby lives. I said, no. Keep it at your house. No, that's not the joke.
But
I
it's
didn't tell
funny.
you the joke yet.
It's funny.
Oh, well, you want to have something for the grandchild when they come over. So that's what inspired me to tell you the joke. So now you have the background. Okay, so here's the joke. I look forward to the day when I could put my granddaughter on my lap and tell her the fairy tale. Once upon a time, Grandma, in 1988, Grandma ate a piece of white bread. I told you all that just to tell you the joke.
Yeah.
We call it Wonder Bread. Wonder Bread is a popular white bread. And then in the 80s, 70s, no, don't eat white bread. It's terrible for you. It was what we grew up on. Okay, so I answered you about the personal trainer. I go there because I have I have aches and pains. I have some problems. So I go there to feel better, not feel better. I hate to go, but I go. And she lectures me all the time.
So like,
you're not doing your stretching. She pushes me, and then she gives me a lecture. You're listening to the wrong people. You're not doing what you have to do. You don't care about your own self. You're lazy. And she hates jokes. Oh God, don't even try to say something funny. Once I went down the steps the first time I was there. It's in her basement. So she throws the oil burner at me and says, bench press this, bitch. But it's a joke. Then she says, we're going to go upstairs. My daughter's moving to college. So we're going to move her bed around. That'll be part of the exercise today. No. You're not moving the bed in the bedroom. You're walking it to Albany, New York, where she's going to college. So I don't think she finds me funny at all. She just wants me to shut up and do the exercise.
But what do you do? Do you do like more stretching, mobility, lifting, running?
Did you ever have to do a bending, like just bend, a squat?
Yeah.
I do squats. I lift weights sitting down. I do the bicycle.
Oh, so you squat.
I squat a couple of times, and then when I get home, that's it. I go on Zoom. I can't move. I'm not in shape. I'm not an in shape person. Bruce goes on the treadmill every day.
But okay, you are not in the best shape, but to be over 70 and still able to squat, like your joints are working, your
knees. Yeah, 70's nothing. Well, see, when you know people like George, and he's 87, and you know comics like Art Schill is another comic in his 80s that we go with to comedy. I guess where you live, it's unusual for a 70-year-old to be youthful.
Did you hear my joke about the health system?
Say it again.
The health system joke in Yemen.
Could you say it?
So in Yemen, don't go to hospital because they steal your organs. So you go with headache, you come out with one testicle and headache.
Oh my God.
You have to tie your organs to your spine like bicycles, so nobody take them. And I end up the joke. People find it funny. I say, you should write on your body, leave my organs alone. They are not worth the money, motherfuckers.
Oh
Because
my God.
the access to the health. So I'm not from Cyprus. I'm here now, but I'm from Yemen. And in Yemen, there is no health system. So in a way, like if you are sick, you die. It's crazy.
So people die younger than here.
That's why they married young and they start having kids.
Wow. You're moving, right?
Yes, I'm moving. But I want to tell you that, like, like, if someone lived until the 60, he is like so lucky.
See here, like I told you, our friends are 89, 85. My cousin's 85. She's does fitness. It's different here. This is not old. This is like you know, I have a Beatles room. It's all Beatles. My whole extra bedroom is all Beatles, wall-to-wall Beatles.
How
I'm
about
16 years old.
how about your mental system, your mental health? Are you
My
happy?
mental health, well, some people might wonder, but I think it's good. I space a few things out, like I didn't check with you about the link, but that's not my memory, that's me. I think my memory, I think 70 is normal. Your idea of 70 is different than mine.
Yes, because I don't know, my grandparents by the age of 55, they were like almost gone.
Oh, that's sad. Well, I can't
Yeah.
wait for you to move to Canada. When are you moving?
So hopefully this year I will be there. And I also like, for example, how do you look to young people? Like, because now you are like in this age, do you think like they are stupid, they are crazy?
No, I make jokes about the different age groups, but just for joking. No, everyone's equal to me. Everyone's equal to me. I don't have that. I have stereotypes that are jokes. Like my nephew got a Cameo. You know what Cameo is?
Yes.
So he paid for his son's favorite race car driver. He was 4.5 years old. He paid for his race car driver to get on a Cameo and say, you have to go to bed on time. You have to go to sleep. Don't you raise your own child? Don't you just whack him and say, get in bed or I'll give you a strap beating like when we were little? No, you pay a race car driver $50 or $100 to tell your child to go to bed early. It's a joke, but that's what really happened. So then I extend the joke and say, when your son is bullied, are you going to get a famous wrestler, John Cena, you're going to pay $1,000 for John Cena to say, go beat up that bully. Don't be afraid of bullies. And then when you're able to drive at 18, you're going to pay Billy Joel $5,000 by then on a Cameo to say, don't drink and drive like Billy Joel and smash into the same tree in Southampton.
Yeah, that's crazy. And also, like, let's say you've been in Earth for more than 70 years. So what do you think is like the meaning of us being here? How do you view life and how do you think why we are here?
Why we exist? That's funny. This is some comedy show, let me tell you. Why do we exist? Why do you think we exist?
So for me, I think that we don't know.
We don't know why we exist?
No, we don't know.
If you mean what my purpose in life is, I can answer that, but why human beings exist?
Nobody knows.
People had, you have to know your birds and the bees to answer that.
It's crazy. And how about your purpose?
What'd you say?
How about your purpose in life?
My purpose in life is to make a difference and support people.
Did it changed when you were young? Did you had another purpose?
No, when I was young, I cared about myself. The only way to have a satisfying life, I believe, is to care about others.
So you mean that when you were young, you were more caring about yourself, but now that you care about others, you are more happy?
I'd say so. Yeah. I wasn't as happy as I am now. I'm very happy, and I appreciate, especially when I talk to people like you, and we appreciate what we have. It's embarrassing to hear, for you to hear some of the complaints on the comedy. You probably think, wow, look what they're joking about.
Yeah, and for me, I appreciate so much to be with like old people.
Older people, you're so funny.
Yeah, I find more fun by hanging out with you rather than people my age, because
I get it.
I kind of feel like you are more experienced. You are like, I'm just so attracted, and it's going to be so special moment for me to meet Joke Zoom people.
Oh, that's wonderful. We love you, and Rob thinks the world of you. If anyone listening wants to join Joke Zoom, just go to www.jokezoom.com, and you have to have been on stage twice in your life.
It's the best. And you know, so when I joined Joke Zoom, I didn't know anything about comedy. And before 6 months before I joined Joke Zoom is when I found out that comedy exists.
Wow.
Because we don't have comedy, it's not allowed. So Rob break the rules and he let me in. And I feel like I grow like you know, when you have a baby, I didn't know anything about comedy, but with your, so okay, you know, when they say you have to work smart and not hard. So at the beginning, I was making jokes about Earth, but Rob told me you are the fish out of the water. So you must make jokes about the differences between Yemen. And that's when it clicked. People start laughing. And Joke Zoom where people were very helpful. Like I wasn't even able to contribute and help others, but everybody was helping me. They give me the time. And now you know, I'm doing open mics, hosting. So it's like I don't think it's easy to forget Joke Zoom. It's like the beginning where you guys helped.
It's a miracle. Joke Zoom is a miracle. And he wants more people. He doesn't want less people. He wants to always make it bigger.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like Joke Zoom. Do you want me to make a screenshot?
That's okay. I took a picture to show my friends that were on TV.
Okay, so yeah, I can make screenshot for you, and also it's going to be on YouTube. So, anyways, just what I want to say is, you guys are too nice. Like you, when you, for example, okay, I'm gonna tell you this, Helaine. My grandparents don't like me. They kind of like they don't talk to me because I am not like Muslim anymore, or like I'm not for like they don't like the lifestyle that I'm living.
Wow.
It's kind of valuable when I feel accepted from you and Rab and this.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. And you know, also like last time, you remember when I had the hosting and I was like, my English is not good or this. You guys are always supportive, and you make me feel that I should just accept myself.
Yeah, your English is perfect.
That's good. And what I have another question for you as well. How often do you write now comedy?
I'm very bad at it. You know, I have a coach, Vanessa Hollingshead. She's a headliner, and I go to her classes, or I pay her to work with me, and I don't write down what, like after we go to Rob and then write it down. I'm very bad with that. That's my weakness. So I don't sit and write.
And also when you, for example,
I think of things, don't get me wrong. I think of things, but I don't always write it down.
okay, and when you write comedy or when you make jokes or when you perform, Some comedians, they like to be a little, they drink something or smoke or.
Yeah, I don't do it. I drink coffee. That's what I drink coffee. That's my drug of choice, coffee. I don't smoke pot or anything.
And because they say sometimes when like you smoke pot, it gives you access to some information that you cannot get access when you are sober. Do you agree?
Really?
No.
I do have an idea. I used to do that years ago. It gives you access. That's great. Do you mean it makes you more friendly or you're not so shy in front of
No.
strangers?
For example, now if I say night, if I tell you night, maybe to your mind will come morning or moon. You understand me? But if you are high and I tell you night, another things will come to your mind. So for example, when you are writing jokes and you are high, there are thoughts and jokes and punchlines that will come to your mind when you are writing that
Wow.
they might not come when you are like drinking, for example, coffee, because your mind is working differently. That's also science.
Social science?
Maybe.
Yeah, you said that you were high when you did your mic and you forgot you couldn't remember if so-and-so was on your mic.
Yeah, so in a way, it makes me feel a little bit comfortable. So for you, did you smoke before in your life or no?
Yeah, I said I used to smoke pot.
And you stopped. Did you stop because you thought it was bad for you, or?
I think I did embarrassing things. I felt uncomfortable. I didn't feel in control. Yeah, I did something embarrassing. You want to know what I did?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay, I went to a Grateful Dead concert that was outdoors in New Jersey, and we went to eat first. And as we were leaving, this person had leftover French fries on their table, and I took one. I ate off of someone else's table when I was leaving the restaurant. I can't believe I did that. Like, it breaks down your barriers. Like, I don't care. I'm really hungry from smoking pot. I'm just going to take that French fry off of someone's table. And I don't want to do things like that. I want to be in control.
And how about drinking with alcohol? Do you like drinking?
I don't drink. No, I don't have a need to drink. I think I get a headache. I even have champagne. No, I'm not interested. I don't want to have my mind altered. I do drink coffee. You go to Rob at 6 a.m. It's 6 a.m. our time. I'm grumpy at 6 a.m. So I asked to go on last. When I wake up, I set the clock for 6. I go on and I'm grumpy. I drink the coffee, and by the end, then I'm myself.
Oh my God.
Now you go on. God bless you. You come on the mics and the Zoom at 2 a.m. I don't know how you do it.
I changed my work to night shift.
Wow.
Because before my work was morning shift, and I was trying to wake up midnight to go to Joke Zoom, but I would wake up and open Joke Zoom and my mind wouldn't switch on. It's like, and when Joke Zoom finish, I just sleep again and I feel like I didn't switch on. So I was like, maybe I should change to night shift.
Good for you. You're lucky you can work it any shift you want. But I'm sorry to hear about your grandparents. They kind of disowned you.
I will tell you something funny. You tell me stories about yourself. So my grandfather, I kind of like when I was kid, he was hugging me, taking me. So we have some memories. So we didn't talk. So 1 year ago, I said I will call him, give him a phone call, and I will be like, grandfather, how are you doing? I miss you, because it's been like 5 years since I didn't see him. So I called him, he opened the phone, and I'm like, this is the greatest moment. Like, now both of us is gonna cry because it's been long. And so I'm like, hello, grandfather, how are you doing? And he's like, who's this? So I told them, it's Mad. He's like, fuck you. He's like, what did you do? Why did you change like this? You did this, you did this. And he's like, don't waste your money on cards and calling me. Goodbye. So
Oh,
yeah, but it in a way it's a little bit funny because I always think that some people, they just have wrong ideas and wrong mind programming. And maybe if I grew up in Yemen, because my grandfather doesn't speak English, he doesn't have access to what I have access to. So maybe I would be my grandfather if I stay there. And
you'd end up like him, you mean?
yeah, so it's fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
You could see that the way you cope with the sadness is to make it funny if you are sad.
So that's what I love the most about comedy, is that I'm being able to transform what's painful in Yemen and everywhere to make it as jokes. And then I see people laughing. So it makes me feel also better.
Yeah, that's sad. I mean, it happened to me when I was a little girl, a teenager. I had a boyfriend who wasn't of my people, and my mother rejected. And it was like Romeo and Juliet. Oh, if she's gonna reject him, then I'm gonna reject her, and I'm gonna sneak away. You
Oh,
know, that it's more exciting, but also it's, you're gonna be mad at your parents when they do that.
so did you continue the relationship or you had to
Well,
stop?
he kind of moved away, but it was like it's hard. It's hard. What happened to you?
Yeah,
It
but
was
it's
a
yeah,
bit.
I'm lucky enough to realize that it's fine. Like, because maybe if I don't realize and I just follow them, it's not it won't be nice. How I want to ask you, how about cooking? Because usually you should
You're so funny.
you seems to cook good food. I like to ask people what they cook.
Yeah. Did you say detox?
No, no,
You
what
just
you
say,
cook.
oh, okay. I tried cocaine just a little, not like so much that you get frazzled, and it makes you feel excellent. It makes you feel perfect. I can see doing it for the rest of your life. It's so wonderful. That's why I don't do it.
No, no, I mean cooking food.
I thought you said cocaine because you were talking about pot and drinking. So I thought you said cocaine. That's hysterical.
But that was
Cooking,
good answer.
I'm not I'm not a world's famous cook. What I make is concoctions, I call it. Like I put couscous and noodles and peppers and tomatoes. I made a concoction the other day out of
Wow.
leftovers. Yeah, I put things together.
But do you have like traditional food or something that you eat since you are young?
Well, I'll answer that by saying I'm in New York, and I'm not in New York City, Manhattan, but where I live, I can have whatever I want, whenever I want, period.
So what do you like to eat the most when you go out?
Oh, when I go out, well, Bruce and I and Heather and this other comic, we went to this Italian restaurant and we had shrimp oregano and mushrooms in this special sauce. It was excellent. It was like, I never would have bought that before. I never was exposed to those two dishes, but I wanted to go every day. You
Wow.
know, the lady who gave me all those clothes I told you about, 5 big bags. I said to her, I should take you to this restaurant because it's so good. And you gave me 5 bags of clothes.
Wow, that's good deal. Good deal for both.
I don't know if she would go, but because of the COVID right now.
Oh, so how are you like worried about it? Do you try to stay home or?
Yeah. Well, my leg hurts a lot and I stay home because of the COVID, and I go on Zoom. So I don't mind being home, and my leg hurts a lot, so I don't go too many places. But I'll tell you one thing about my comedy. When I canceled because of the COVID, that's when I realized how many bookings I had. Before that, I never would have said, oh, I'm doing pretty well. I mean, I feel good to have bookings,
Ah,
but when I canceled Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I said, wow, look at you. You have New Jersey, Westchester, Long Island, Manhattan. So I felt good about myself. Even though some of them are bringers, I canceled a lot and I had a lot.
So do you travel also around the US?
Yeah, not around the US. I have performed in different places, but I'll go to, we have a bridge that you could sit at that bridge for 2 hours. So I'm willing to go all the way to New Jersey, pay $15 for the toll one way, $15 the other way, sit at that bridge for 2 hours to go and do 8 minutes at a club. It's crazy. Crazy.
That's you lose so much time for the 8 minutes.
Yeah. And you know, when you don't work and you have nothing, not nothing better to do, but it's exciting to get, you know, you go to the club and it's exciting to perform. So I'm willing to do it. And then I pick up my friend in the Bronx and the people drive crazy. It's like those movies you see, those New York movies, they're driving under that elevated train, chasing people. Well, that's what it's like driving in the Bronx. It's crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
And
Bruce and I went to the Bronx and he's a better driver and he's a male driver. And oh my God, we're like backed up so long.
do you miss working, going to work?
Well, I was a school teacher in a tough school. That's what my comedy's about. So part of
Wow.
it, yeah, I miss part of it and I don't miss part of it.
So what do you miss?
I miss the children and helping them and their family. You know, I love that part of teaching.
Nice. And what you don't miss about it?
I don't miss they peek in your window, you know, the administration peek in your window and you have to be doing this. And each child gets their own education by their own speed. So you have to keep track. You don't teach like in a classroom where they're all sitting there. No, you have to teach individually for every child, keep them all busy with something different. And you're not allowed to teach. Each child has to teach each other. That's so stupid. How are they going to learn math if you don't teach it to them? You know,
What do
you
you
can't just
mean?
teach in front of the room. It has to be groups and experiments. You can't ever just teach.
So what you are saying is when they teach people, just student in the class, and you just tell them, they don't realize it. They have to experience it and see. Is this what you are saying?
I like traditional teaching where every child sits there and you teach. They don't want them sitting and learning from the teacher. They want them learning from each other. Well, who's going to teach the top kid? And why should he have to teach everybody else?
I'm a little bit lost because when I went to school, there were one teacher who we were like, let's say 20 in the class, and one teacher will come and will explain 1 + 1 is 2 because 1 is 1. So what's the difference you are talking
The
about?
difference is they want them to be in groups and have one child be the center, not the teacher-centered learning. It's like against having a teacher in front of the room to teach 1 and 1 is 2. Who's going to ever teach them 1 and 1 is 2 if the teacher can't teach in front of the room?
So what's the teacher job?
What?
If every student have group and someone teach them, the teacher, what the
The
teacher's
teacher's
job?
job is to break up fights. That's what my job was every day, breaking up fights.
Oh my,
I had a parent come in the school building before school started, and she did something to my boss, who's the principal, because the boss screamed when we came in for the morning to go to our room. We heard screaming. And this parent was the same parent. I had to call her and tell her, your child's failing. Your child's getting left back. Your child's going to repeat 2nd grade. And I was shivering in my boots. I had a guard, a security guard in front of my room. I asked her to watch me walk back and forth while I'm telling this parent, I'm going to have to hold back your daughter, because that's the same reason she popped this principal. She gave her she was a teacher then, she gave her all bad grades on the report card.
oh my.
So she said, you can't give my daughter all unsatisfactory. So I was shivering in my boots when she came to open school night. There's a restraining order. She's not even allowed in the building. So I was shivering in my boots. I was so scared. But you know what happened? I said, your daughter has to be held over. You know what she said to me? Miss Witt, I trust you. Whatever you think is right for my daughter. She changed. She wasn't mad at all.
Oh, that's cute. That's nice.
But I was scared. And then she went to the nurse's office to pick up her daughter, and she had a restraining order against her. So I watched back and forth when the nurse had her in her office, because the nurse doesn't know that she's capable of popping somebody.
Wow, that's
Crazy
crazy.
stories. I have some crazy stories about teaching.
That's
Crazy
crazy.
stories.
That's crazy. But what you are talking about, is it still happening until now in the schools where there is one student and you play?
That's a good question. But could you imagine a teacher and you have 20 kids in your class, and every night she goes home and she makes a lesson for Muad. She makes a lesson for Johnny. She makes a lesson for every child, because everyone's individualized learning. And then you go in a group and she has to watch that. And then everybody rotates. You don't just all read the same book. Everyone reads their own book.
But there are some people who say that the whole teaching system should be changed, even the materials. They say that the materials are not useful anymore. There should be maybe like materials to teach people how to use social media, how to use the computer, how to do things that's practical.
Yeah. Well, when we had a computer teacher, and every week my class went there, and you know what she had them do? She didn't have them learn a tutorial how to type so they could use typing. You know what she had them do? Sit there with their arms folded and punish them. Because she was writing her doctorate in the computer, and she was writing a thesis, so she didn't let the children learn anything. And when I complained, she went after me, not physically.
Not like that, mom.
They'll give you flat tires, the parents. But then rich kids' parents, I've heard stories about a rich kid's parent who followed the teacher to the car and said, every child got a little sticker with glitter and it smells like strawberry. And my daughter, a little sticker. My daughter didn't get one. The teacher said, that's right, your daughter wasn't behaving. She didn't get a sticker. And she said, okay, could she have one now? She wants one.
Oh
could you imagine my mother? My mother would say, good, never give her a sticker. And now I'm going to punish her too.
That's horrible.
Can you imagine the spoiled brat parent?
Yeah. For how many years did you teach?
I only taught for 20, but I got a pension. I was very lucky. Some people teach for 40 years. I was lucky. I was just lucky. I only taught for 20. Because remember, I went to California. I came back. I got my job back.
Now, and what subject did you teach?
I'm not going to answer it. That's the 87-year-old man. I told you he calls us every day.
Anne, do you want to answer your phone?
No, not at all. I was just showing you. I was telling you the truth.
So what did you teach? What subject?
Second, I taught every subject except like they went out once a day for gym or computers or science. But I taught, I like reading and writing. That's my favorite. I like children to know how to spell, how to write, creative writing. I like drawing. I just love teaching school if I could do it my way.
So maybe you should open your own school.
I've thought of it. When I was a little girl, I had a camp, and it was a joke because I used all of my mother's material. Like I used her paper plates to make tambourines, with pebbles in it. And my brothers were teenagers, and they'd wake up in the summer and go to the bathroom, and they'd look down, and there was a little child on the toilet bowl. And they'd go back, they're up, how teenagers are, they wake up and, what's this kid doing here? So it was kind of funny that I charged 2 cents a day, and I used all my parents' materials, all the things they had in their house.
That's
pretty funny, but it was exciting that all the kids in the neighborhood, it was like the Pied Piper. I went and picked up all the kids in the neighborhood.
That's crazy. This is another question. Sometimes before I ask the question, I'm like, should I ask or no? Should I
Go ahead, I don't care.
Do you believe in any conspiracy theory?
Well, this whole thing about the resurrection, the insurrection, you know, that whole thing that happened at the White House. Is that what you mean?
I mean, some people have to other conspiracies, and I like to know what people, if people have.
That's the only thing I would talk about. Is I think at first I thought it was just people were riled up. I didn't know it was planned ahead of time by the president of the United States. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, also for me, like coming. Do you know that there is war in Yemen, or no?
Really?
You don't know.
I don't like to hear bad news. I'm pretty irresponsible about
That's
that.
good. That's you eliminate them from your life. But like coming out from country like that, for example, the US, although there is some corruptions, there is some conspiracy theory, but it's still like livable. You can live, you can have vision. Like there is some countries you cannot even have vision, or you cannot plan for the future.
Sad. My friend lives in China and she has a lot of restrictions. She can't go on Facebook.
Crazy, crazy. What is your favorite place in the US?
Favorite place?
Yes.
California's nice.
I want to go to Hawaii.
Yeah, that's beautiful, beautiful.
Have you been there?
I was there once. I went to a few islands. Maui is beautiful. I would recommend Maui.
There is this Halona or
Honolulu?
yes.
Honolulu is a city, you know, it's like a city.
That's nice. I don't know why, but I feel like Hawaii is like blessed place. Like I feel like if God exists, He loves Hawaii.
Yes, it's beautiful.
The people are nice. Or
there's a girl from our comedy class, not Joke Zoom, my other class, and she had a mic a few times, like a pop-up mic, and she lived in Hawaii. It's 6 hours earlier than us.
yeah, Hawaii is even far. Like how many hours you need to fly?
Yeah, it takes double. It takes, I think, 6 to get to California, and then you first have to go to Hawaii. It's far.
That's crazy.
I want to say 12 hours.
Wow. And where you are now in New York, where exactly, which city?
I live in Queens. You heard of the baseball stadium or the tennis stadium? You heard of Shea Stadium, Citibank Stadium? Tennis, you heard of famous tennis
Yes.
stadium? And the racetrack. I live near Belmont Racetrack. I live near the tennis. And I live kind of 14 miles from Manhattan. But 14 miles to Manhattan could take you an hour and a half to drive.
So by walk is faster.
Well,
By
we've had transit problems where the trains, the city, like the electricity shut down and people had to walk home, or after 9/11. Bruce had to walk a lot in 9/11. He was stuck in Manhattan.
Wow, 14 kilometers. Did you see what's the distance from your place?
It's 14 miles. So technically 14 miles should take 14 minutes. So if you drove on a Sunday, let's say Sunday at 4 a.m., you drive to Manhattan, you could get there in 14 minutes maybe. But you drive to Manhattan most times, especially rush hour, takes you an hour and a half.
Oh my, and why people would even drive at that time?
Why do they even go drive to Manhattan? I know. But when we go to comedy, Moab, sometimes I say, let's take the train. You know, Robert Lepatkin, the dentist?
Yes.
He drove me to Manhattan. So he's driving in for a 10 o'clock show. That's pretty late at night. But the tree, the famous lighting of the tree in Rockefeller Center, it's a big tourist attraction. People come from all over. So he's driving down that street saying, we're 1 block from the comedy club, but there's so much traffic. I said, that's because you're by the tree, the famous Rockefeller Center tree where the people ice skate, and the tree is there. People come from all over, busloads of people. I said, look what street you're on. What do you expect? You expected to just drive through Manhattan? the tree just opened and it was warm out and there was a vacation. So it's pretty funny. You expect no traffic on the most popular street in the world, like Times Square. Take a cab through Times Square. Horrible. You're better off walking in Times Square to the comedy.
But what if someone replace it, come now and tell you you can't choose anywhere in the world to live in? Would you replace your place or no?
Good question. There are other places that are nice. I like the Beatles, so I love to go to London and Liverpool where the Beatles were born. I love to go there.
You mean the UK?
Yeah. I don't mean to live necessarily, but I love to go. I
Wow.
walk down. Yeah. Did you ever go to UK?
No, I'm still just stuck here. I need to get out to Canada and then we're gonna.
I went to Canada. It's lovely.
Where about?
I went to Montreal.
Toronto?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because that's where hopefully I will be. And I feel like I have to come to New York one day. It's like a dream.
Yeah, and we'll all meet you like we met Regina. We all went to open mic with Regina.
Oh, that's nice.
And Heather met somebody else who came. Janet came to New York, and Jay. You know what? Rob came to watch Regina and Jay in the comedy show without them knowing.
Jay. He come to surprise them.
And I was sitting behind him, and the MC said, "So where are you from?" It was Tim and Rob, and I didn't recognize them.
But
they came to surprise.
How often do you meet Rob?
I met him through Bruce. Bruce took a class, like Rob is teaching a class today. So he told me about it. But then I brought Janet, who brought Terry Ann. I brought Ellen. I brought Ziggy. I brought Carolyn. I brought Catherine indirectly. I brought Linda Marcus Smith. I brought a lot of Tom. I brought a lot of the people to Rob.
That's nice. So how do you like, how do you meet your friends or the people you know? Are they like from school through the comedy?
Oh, how did I meet? Oh, good question. I met Tom and Bruce and Ziggy at a place called Gladys's Room in the Comic Strip Live. Gladys used to teach comedy in the 90s. No, she had a mic. She didn't teach it. No, she does teach, but she has a mic in the 90s. Jim Gaffigan went there. He's famous now. A lot of famous people started at Gladys's mic in a bar, in a room. You know, she rented a room. So now, fast forward 2022, she still has Gladys's comedy room, and you could go there, and that's where I met a lot of people.
Wow. And for example, when you meet people, because for me, I feel like I want to make only comedians friends. Like I would look for, because you can also make too many premises and jokes, and they are also happy people. Do you only look for comedians friends, or you?
Me, no. I have a serious side to me. When you say what's your life about, I do a lot of work empowering people. No, I have other friends. I don't just have comedy friends. It's fine for you. I have a lot of friends in all different areas.
Yeah, for sure. If I get along with someone who is not comedian, then I'm not gonna say you have to be comedian, or I'm not gonna be your friend.
No, but on the other hand, you seek out comedian friends and you want to work on jokes.
I feel like that's part of being successful comedian. The more you know, you can, help each others. And for example, when you, because I don't know, when you look for friends now, or when you meet people, what quality you like the most about people to make them?
They listen to you. They don't have to one up you. You know what one-upmanship is? You know what that is? Yeah. So they don't just say, "Oh, I did that." You know, let's say we come on Rob's and we're all here before Rob comes on. So I say, "So Muad, how are you doing today?" And someone else says, "Oh, Muad, I had a cousin who did that once. You know what my cousin did? And I asked you how you're doing." So I don't like people who do one-upmanship. I look for people who care and who listen.
Yeah, and why do you think some people become like this?
It's a good
Annoying.
question. I do ponder that sometimes. Why are they like that? I think it's their childhood. Like people say, my sister, my brother does this, I can't stand it. They do this, my brother does that. Why do they do it? I think it's from their childhood. Something happened to them when they were little and it made them bitter. What you were
Wow.
talking about being bitter.
Hmm. And but you some also the problem is some people they don't recover. But you know, for example, they say that most of the fascinated people or very successful comedians came from very destroyed childhood,
Yeah.
but then they work on themselves.
Yeah, that I've heard that. I mean, Ellen's a psychiatrist. She's a medical doctor. She's a very good comic. You don't think that about Ellen. She's a successful psychiatrist with a medical degree. So it can't be true about every comic, right?
Ah, yeah. And I really like her so much. She's very, she
Funny.
motivates and
I brought her to Rob too.
wow, that's really cool.
Yeah. I
You
do meet a lot of comics. You know, you go to Manhattan and you make friends. You go to New Jersey, you make friends. They have a breakfast where they meet at a diner, at a restaurant in New Jersey, all the comics, and they meet and they eat there. Well, I'm from New York, but I drive all the way there, like hours away, just to go eat breakfast with the comics. Because one of them was on America's Got Talent, and she's very nice. She eats with us too. And
that's
people recognize her. Could you imagine you're eating with a comic and people recognize her and they go, is that the lady from America's Got Talent?
wow.
And I say, yes. And they go, excuse me, can I have your autograph? Could I take a picture with you? It's really exciting.
Wow, it's crazy how we see because you know, like before, people know you if they know you, but now with technology, it's like people can know you from all around the world and can love you, and you don't even know them.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. That movie we're in, someone recognized Ziggy because he was on Late Night. Remember I talked about the Johnny Carson show? He's in the new version of that. He was right there on Late Night. Someone recognized him in his building. And somebody saw me on TV from my high school. My
Oh,
teacher who made the first show Good Timing, she put me on Like You and Me on MSNBC, a very big time show. She put me on with her. Next thing you know, this guy from high school said, I saw you on TV.
whoa, that's nice. I also like I watched in Facebook some photos for you and the other comedians. And you also guys, you look so cute. The way you dress, you know, like me coming from Yemen and this and
That's so cute that you're saying that.
yeah, it's really beautiful. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to meet you in person because it's like you guys helped me a lot. And I see you in Zoom more than my family, my friends, and everyone.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really special just to, and you know, when you meet people in person, you are like, wow, it's different from talking in here and when you meet in person.
When we met Robert Lepatkin, he was much taller than we thought.
Oh, Rob is giant, I think. He's tall.
Not giant. No, Bruce is giant. Bruce is 6 feet tall. It's not a giant. You might be 6 foot tall.
No, I'm not. Tim is
Tim is
tall.
funny in person. Oh my gosh. He's a genius.
The punchlines he gave me when we work together are the best.
Tim is a genius.
Yeah, that's
Do
really.
you go to his 7 o'clock Wednesday?
I go, but I've been going every time, but the last week I didn't go because I had another mic. But no, he's really so funny.
You had your own mic that Ziggy went to.
Yeah, but hopefully I will make sure to go this week. Well, do you have any plans for today?
Yeah, we have a Zoom at 3 o'clock, at 7 o'clock, 2 Zooms.
Today? Which?
You know, Heather has a mic from Rob.
Oh, you know, I'm registered to that open mic. So thank you. I have to go to get ready. Today I'm going to be in Heather open mic.
That's what I said, Heather.
So yeah, I will see you there. You
7
will
o'clock.
be there too.
Yeah. Do you want to join a 3 o'clock open mic if there's room?
Yes, let me know.
Okay. Do you want me to put the name in the chat?
Do you want me like? Should I go and text them if they have room?
I'll tell you what. You email them and I'll text them for you.
Okay.
It's Jean Kim. And then on Wednesday night after Tim, you could start going to Gladys's room. That's at 8 o'clock.
Today.
After Tim.
So we have
every Wednesday.
That's Wednesday. Okay, so today we have
Gladys.
and then we have Heather. Okay.
Yeah, you have Tim. Tim, you know, Donna has an in-person mic, so some of the people from Joke Zoom, we see each other in person on Wednesday, but then you miss Tim. Tim's at 7 and Donna's at 8 in person. So what do you think I do? I sit in the car, I do Tim's, and then I get out of the car and go to Donna's. Then I drive home and listen to Gladys's. Then when I park the car at home, I go on Gladys's.
It's even surprising that you still drive. It's really different. So do you drive a car?
I drive a car.
That's amazing.
Not in Manhattan, not where all that congestion is. That's on Long Island. So what I do is I go to Tim 7 to 8. I park the car. Or I listen. I could get to Donna's, park the car at 7, go to Tim in the car, stop Tim's at 8, go into the mic, it's in a bar, leave the mic when it's over, drive home listening to Gladys, and they have so many comics, they put me on by the time I get home.
Wow, that's really great. I really love to hear that, like, you are just getting after it.
But I'm not going out now, so I could go to Tim and Gladys, and I miss Donna's.
Oh.
We went when the COVID was better. We went to Donna's house. We had a big Friendsgiving, and we all brought some food.
Yeah, hopefully when Thanksgiving or Christmas, I will bring some food too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
We'll see you. If you want to go to Jean Kim, I'll send her a text and ask her if you could come.
So do you want me to email them or no?
I want you to email her and I'll text her right now.
Okay, thank you so much for coming and being here. It was really—
Oh, you are inspiration. I told everyone about you. I told a newspaper lady about you last night, and I hope she makes an article about you and Rob.
Oh, thank you. That's cute. Okay, see you soon. Thank you so much, Helaine. You are amazing.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.